Hello, beautiful people of the internet. This is Dan Smots of The System is Down and the most special presidential campaign in the history of our timeline. I am joined today by a very special guest, Mr. Brian McWilliams from the Lions of Liberty podcast to share a very important announcement with you. Brian, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm rocking and rolling, living through this COVID era, experiencing all the joys of multiple emails from the LNC reminding me to learn how to use Zoom 50 goddamn times a day to vote via Zoom.
Yes, and how much libertarian snail mail have you received spamming you over the last month?
Oddly enough, not that much. A few. I'm getting mostly emails now and phone calls. You know, I did speak to your buddy Vermin. I spoke with Jim Gray. I spoke with Hornberger at a convention, but not in person. But yeah, I'm getting the emails. I'm getting all that. Facebook Messenger is big.
Yep.
Finding that a lot of Facebook outreach.
That's right. Everybody's getting lazy. Anyway, speaking of my buddy Vermin, do you have something you'd like to share with the world?
I do. So I've thought a lot about it, and it's interesting because I want to say this. I want to thank every single candidate that's run. I think this is by far the best field that I've seen in libertarian run up in any time in the recent memory. And that every candidate really brought something interesting to the table. Now, for me, it came down to a few different candidates. The primary two, the last two, were Hornberger and Vermin. We hosted a lot of debates. I watched a lot of debates. And also, in speaking with Vermin directly, I do want to say that I have decided to endorse Vermin Supreme. So the reason for that, for me, comes down to looking at this election cycle and knowing, you know, coming from a public relations perspective, which is what I do for a living when I'm not spewing words on the microphone, there's little chance of a Libertarian Party really making a dent that's substantial with a traditional campaign. We're looking at Donald Trump. We're looking at his Trump Nation. We're looking at never Trumpers on the other side. And between that, we have some independents. We have some young voters who are probably people that are looking for a real alternative answer. People that are going to be protest voters, people that are going to be anti-establishment. And I think Vermin brings that to a head with this we're in on the joke. The Libertarian Party is not going to make a resounding difference except with a campaign like this, which is going to bring in people that are looking to oppose what's going on, that are sick of the two-party duopoly, and that are going to look at this and say, you know what, I can get behind somebody that's maybe doing a little bit of a satirical take on this, but also is bringing some very serious ideas to the forefront. We look to the Ukraine and the election of a guy who was a comedian. So stranger things have happened, but I think for this campaign, making that impact, getting people out, getting them interested, getting them engaged with some of the ideas of liberty, even in a satirical format at first, and then you see the serious side, you see the campaign platforms for what it is, and you see how he can be in a debate format should we get that far. And I'm hoping that his viral presence and outreach will help push him into polling in the debates to have to be recognized. Well, I think that Vermin is the answer. And I do say that with the utmost respect for Hornberger. I think Judge Jim Gray brought a lot to the table, even if I don't agree with a lot of what he has to say as far as support for institutions. I love Adam Kokesh's dedication. And of course, Joe Jorgensen's been around for quite some time supporting the party, and even through to Mons. I mean, Vermin just is the answer for this cycle. And I think that other people should look at him more seriously as a candidate, and he's got my support.
Fantastic. I love it. Now, do you have any concern about, the party? I mean, the obvious concern, the party not being taken seriously if we put up a guy with a boot on his head.
That's to presume that the party is being taken seriously now. And I think that that's the core issue that people don't want to acknowledge, is that people are looking at the Libertarian Party and within it and saying, well, we are serious and we should be taken seriously. And yes, we should. But at the current time, we're not. We're not getting in debates. We're not getting into discussions. People read the word libertarian and they instantly check out mentally. We need to engage in a different way. We need to engage people in a fashion that's going to actually make them think and make them take a double take and get media. I mean, Vermin has proven to be able to get media. And I think that the best way for us to attract media coverage would be through a person who is operating as a living meme, but has that consistent philosophical background behind it, where when he's pressed, he can discuss the issues and he can get into these things. So yeah, while we want to be taken seriously, I think that this campaign has to be about awareness building and has to be about generating a swell like we saw with Ron Paul back in the day by discussing serious issues, but breaking that wall that people have up in their minds. And you're not going to do that by simply getting out there and having something that's not going to be really engaging and really vibrant and really get people to look at them. I mean, when you go by a truck on fire on the side of the road, you're going to look at it. Vermin happens to be a truck on the side of the road that you can still get in and drive after it's done burning.
Well, cool, Brian. Awesome. Glad to have you on Team Supreme. And do you have anything else you want to say to the rest of the world as they debate on whether or not this guy is serious or a joke or the complete downfall of the party?
My final words would be hashtag we're in on the joke. You know, if you have to decide whether or not you are in fact in on the joke and whether or not you have the mental clarity to be able to see something that is satire for what it is and just how useful that can be in current society.
Awesome. Well, Brian, thanks so much for being here, and I'll talk to you again later.